Do you desire to turn your passion into income? Connect with other creative souls who also dance to the beat of their own drum? I'm Marie-Nicole, and I'm devoted to combining beauty, uniqueness, and connection in everyday living experiences. As a creative professional and Dharma coach, I help people connect to the truth of who they are and facilitate them in embodying their uniqueness. It is my hope in this podcast that I inspire you to live your life on your terms and earn your income through being uniquely you. After all, it's the unique thread that we each contribute to the collective tapestry that creates the whole. So today's podcast is an interview with Jill Blackburn from Outback Spiritual Festival, and that will be running for the first time in August 26th, 27th. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Now, Jill is the founder of this festival, and I wanted to introduce her through sharing, first of all, her welcome statement on the website about the festival, because it's absolutely beautiful. And it reads as, "You are invited to gather in the ancient and stunning location to absorb, learn, and grow with this community. There is something magical about being in the outback. The spiritual heart of this earth beats at full volume out here. Come and join us and connect to Mother Earth, see the night sky with absolute clarity, and ground our feet in red soil. We shall gather and share all things spiritual and healing with one another and just be in this ancient place. We will come together in the spirit of community and spirituality. We will work to cultivate our own spirit, our connection to others, and so very importantly, our connection to this earth of ours. We will offer one another meaning, compassion, love, respect, and reciprocity." What a beautiful welcome statement that is, which leads me to my first question for you, Jill, and that is, what is your background and what's your journey that led you to creating such a unique experience and offering for everyone to enjoy?
Well, it's a big question with many parts of the answer. Um, so I guess I'm going to start at the beginning and just go. So I was kind of raised to, you know, the everything spiritual might be bad or might be evil sort of thing, and religion was lumped in with that as well. So I was raised with all these thoughts and feelings and messages and things coming through, but being told that to suppress it, and things like that. I think I thought differently to other people, and I guess there's a lot of people that think like I do too, but I feel like from a young age I had this kind of different view on life than my parents did and people around me. And I guess I was the kind of person that just went off and like followed whatever I wanted to do. So I went off to uni, did that. I was an academic for many years. I was a vet nurse. I was all kinds of different things, and I ended up marrying, well, being set up with a man that lived in Broken Hill. As it turns out, we got married, and we lived out on stations around Broken Hill, and that's where I fell in love with the red dirt, the sky. We'd have a fire and just sit around and look at the stars, and I fell in love with it. And when my husband was killed, this is when I had my awakening, I guess, because I needed to know and I wanted to know what happened to him and where he was. And he made it very clear, coming through to me with all kinds of different messages and things. He made that started to make all of my way of thinking make sense. So this has opened my heart, my soul, my mind to what ifs, what's out there, all these sorts of things. And in mourning my husband, I actually reached out to a psychic medium she's from Victoria, Geelong area. Ended up, by some stroke of fate or however it works, she ended up being my spiritual mentor, and her method of teaching basically taught me that the lesson was just do exactly what you think is right because it's right, just follow your heart. And that was the biggest message I took from her. So skip forward a little bit. I've had quite a few health issues on and off. I had a part of my childhood was that there was some abuse, and that sort of emerged when I had my son, and when I lost my husband, sort of it emerged more fully then, and I was sort of quite unwell. And I also had a cancer diagnosis last year, and so was travelling back and forth to Adelaide for, week after week after week, and it's a 10-hour or 10 to 12-hour round trip depending on roadworks. And most of those trips were by myself, and most of them, for the first little while I listened to music, and then I would go to podcasts, and then I would drive in silence. And that's where this whole thing came from.
Wow.
It came from the idea that if people where I live have to travel, a 12-hour round trip to reach out and get help, and I'm not talking just general medical help, I'm talking that, that soul deep help. Why can't we have it here? What's stopping us? This place is what's brought me healing itself without anything else. So I wanted to bring people here, but I wanted to bring other people here so that people that live here can see that there's more out there. So that's in a nutshell.
Wow, what a journey. So
Yeah.
how long have you been in Broken Hill?
I've actually been here now since 2007, so going on 16 years. Yeah. So I got married. I met Andrew in 2007, and then married in 2009, but we've lived out on stations from then. So,
Okay.
yeah.
How long ago did he pass away?
So he died in 2017. So 6 years this year. Yeah.
Wow. And how many children do you have?
I have one of my own. So I have a 3-year-old Sid, and my husband has 4 children. So I've inherited 4, an extra 4, which is amazing. The 4 of them go from 7 to 14. So I sort of had obviously a family late in life, which is a whole nother story with IVF and Andrew passing away and all those sorts of things. And so yeah, I didn't think I'd have a family of my own, and I did, and I believe it was Andrew.
So beautiful. So then I guess my next question was going to be, what's your vision for this event, and what do you hope the flow-on effect to be? You've kind of spoke to that a little bit in terms of the healing and Broken Hill for you, and you want other people to experience that. Do you want to expand on that?
It's been interesting organising this festival, because there are other festivals around and people kind of assume that it's the same. And I guess it is, it's the same kind of concept. But I'm trying very hard to keep this festival, and I'm not saying the others aren't, but I'm trying very hard to keep this festival on a level that everyone can go to. So I've had actually people contact me and say, what do I need to wear to this festival? Who do I have to be to fit in? And the idea is that it's for everyone. So the flow-on effect is that people will find spirituality accessible as they are, not as they think they have to be to fit with someone else's, version. I'm hoping that it's going to be an annual event. That would be ideal. To see how hubby decides whether I can, do another one. But it's the flow-on effect is, I'm hoping that people see there's a whole nother world of help and growth and love out there that they can access as they are, and that's what I hope happens.
That's fantastic, because our souls don't come clothed in a particular uniform. So I love that whole, question of what do I wear to fit in? It's like your meat suit, just come in that.
Yeah, exactly. As you are.
As you are, exactly. Oh, that's awesome. So what's the greatest learning you've had so far in actually creating this event? Because it's so new, and yeah, how long ago did you start the process, and what have you learned along the way?
Yeah. So in October, I had radioactive iodine treatment for my cancer. And I had to be away from everyone for 2 weeks. I couldn't sort of be in contact with the kids at all. So I just stayed in Adelaide, and I was in a house by myself for 2 weeks, and I'd get, meals delivered or whatever. Um, I and I just took the time to be alone and just, let things be. And my granddad was he was a water diviner. He was born in 1909, and he and I had a very special relationship, and I kind of feel like he's my guide. And I've got dowsing rods that I've got because of him, and I took them with me, and I was just, playing around and, just trying to connect in with what was going on. And I ended up coming home, or actually Mark flew down and we drove home together. And I just said to him in the car, I said, we're going to have a festival, like, I'm just telling you now, that's what we're doing. And he sort of went, rightio, what do we have to do? So that was in October, late October. Then I made the announcement at the end of November, I think it was. So it's been in planning since November. And to say what I've learnt, and I know, everyone has doubts about what they're doing and what, about themselves, and there's always a dialogue going on in your head. And this event and planning this event has taught me to come back and trust myself and to trust my initial vision. I've got people that do things here and there for me, like I've got a lady who's doing some compiling social media posts and stuff for me, a little bit of that. And I've had other people sort of approach me to be involved to help organise it. And every time I sort of extend out, I was losing the clarity that I had as to what I wanted it to be. This is not like me to have to ever say this, but this has taught me to come back and trust my own vision, to trust that I have the capability and capacity to do this and to make it happen. And that it's not that I don't owe anyone else anything. I owe the people that I'm doing this for, I owe them to make it how it was originally planned, not to let it become something else. So I guess it's to trust my own vision, and to give myself credit that I've got it right, I hope.
I completely understand that from the perspective of having I had a retail store that I just recently closed. I told you about that.
Yeah.
But it was creative co-working space, and my workshop integrated in that. And I wanted to share it with other people. And I get it from the perspective of having other people involved and how that can completely change the core of what you're trying to create. And as something new, you almost need it to be your vision only before you then have that instilled in other people. Of next year you could probably get more people involved, but you've already got the concept out there. So especially being the first one, I think that's really, really important. That I know for my first year, because I had the shop for 6 years, and having other people involved in it, there were aspects that came out a little bit differently to what I had planned. And I was like, right. No, that's not the vision. And so then as time went by and it fell back onto me just doing it all myself, then I tightened the brand and the offering, and it was like, this is what it's about. So I do understand that completely.
It's very much, the purpose is not to involve the community, and that's what I'm trying to do. Like I would love, people to be involved and feel good about it. That's not what I'm aiming at, because those spiritual people, they're already on their path. I'm aiming at the people that don't know or don't know much, or are scared to admit they know things, or or worried, because here in Broken Hill there is a a little bit of a fear, I think, for a lot of people to admit that they're interested in, spiritual things. So I
That's
don't
nationally. That's not just Broken
that's
Hill.
just everywhere, yeah.
Yes.
But it's, as much as I love everyone in the community, and everyone has been incredibly helpful and just, just forthcoming with all of their help. But I'm coming, this is something I'm delivering to the end user, and they're the ones that I need to get the message to.
And that makes perfect sense. Like, as a business, having your target audience and keeping
Yeah.
your eye on the target audience, and you can
Yeah.
cater to everybody, and it's like, speak to everybody, speak to nobody, or you can
Yeah.
keep your eye on the vision for
Yeah.
this is who I actually want to reach. So
Yeah.
is this something you do full time, or?
No, I'm a mum.
I know you're a mum.
Just a stay-at-home mum. I do haven't worked since having my son. He's 3 now, so haven't worked since then. And I'm full-time mum to Sid, and then I'm half-time mum to the other 4 children. I do a little bit of Reiki and mediumship when I can, here and there, not a lot, but this is giving me purpose, and this is giving me an outlet, I think. There's so many ideas up there that I just, this is giving me an outlet. And it was something that when it popped into being, I've never doubted myself, and that's not like me. Like, I'm normally fairly, a little bit hesitant to jump into things this big, but it just feels right. It's like it's meant to be. It's meant to happen. It just feels like it's happening okay, and it's going to be fine. So I am a mum, and now my husband likes to say mum and event organizer. So
And so this is the first event you've organised. It's like your university studies had nothing to do with event organisation.
Well, they did, kind of. I did. I just did a business degree. And so, but I'm sort of mainly did like statistics and that lovely fun stuff. I used to teach that for many years, and marketing and that retail, that sort of stuff. So I mean, I do have a concept of what it all is about. This is the first time I've done it myself, though. Yes.
Wow, big.
Yeah.
And so, what are your do you have any daily practices or any rituals that you use to manage all of this motherhood and this massive event?
Well, I'd love to say that I do, and I'd love to say that I do stuff every day. I'm still in the phase of I have quite bad PTSD issues, so I find every day is a new day, and I get done what I can do. Walking with like listening to music, and it's like really bad music that you would not admit that you like to anyone, but I like it to when I walk. That's my time. I tried to meditate and things like that, but that it doesn't sit well with me. I also do a bit of breath work, just as we're going through the day, and if I'm having a rough patch, I breathe through it. I don't spend enough time doing things like self-care, self-love, all that sort of stuff. It's not great, but when I do, it really does boost things. Like, it's very important.
Well, even without the self-care, which is important, but in terms of managing your time, how are you allocating yourself? I have to do this for the kids, but then I have to get this done.
So priorities are literally for I have Sid's at daycare on Mondays and Friday mornings, so they are my time to do full-on work. I am on the couch overnight with, after I cook tea and everything, sitting on the couch, everyone's watching telly, I'm on the computer sending emails or whatever I'm doing. It's kind of the priorities are children first, children/husband first. Then I get done the things that need, like obviously the washing. If you had this many children in your house, the washing is insane. But I usually just try and get it done and then like allocate. So I'll go, right, at this time I'm doing this many hours, and as long as I don't get interrupted. But it's fit it where you can, and the couch in front of the telly is the best the best spot to do all the boring admin side of stuff. So yeah, but it's been, I would literally say every single day since I launched it in November, I've worked on it every day. So yeah, it's full on.
Yeah, I bet it is. And especially because it's not something you have done before and it's a new concept.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, like, what along the way has actually surprised and delighted you about preparing for this? Because I know we haven't had it yet, so I can't ask you post-event.
I have loved how I cannot recall one negative comment. Not one. Not, everyone that's talked about it, obviously the people that are sort of already within the spiritual community have reached out. I haven't actually asked anyone to be involved. People have reached out to me 100%, which is mind-blowing. The thing that amazes me is that so many people are so ready and open for this. And now this is the opportunity. Like you'll just speak to someone and you'll say, I've had it brought up to me to say, oh, did you hear this is on? I'm like, yeah, I know about that. I'm running that. And it's like, whoa. So I think that it's just, I just love that there's, I just feel like the timing's right, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. And I love that. So I think, yeah, just that it's happening, just flowing.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, and that is something that I noticed in your promotions. You haven't really put yourself out there as the organizer, and I couldn't find even a picture of you. Like, you've got your team. You're not in that.
No.
I missed it.
It's not about me. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than I'm just making it happen, and I hope that it helps a lot of people. Like, it's really hard when you sort of say, it does feel bigger than me. Like, it's going to make me feel good to have it work, obviously, and make it happen. But it makes me feel good to know that where I have been in the past, in dark places or in lost wherever, mentally or emotionally or spiritually, it makes me feel good to know that I can open doors for people in my position, or in any position really, to have access to what they need. It's not about me.
No, I am not saying it should be about you, but it's that your story is quite unique, and it is one that people from all walks of life could connect with on so many different levels, especially with, you've got blended family for starters.
Yeah.
That is one thing that has to have its challenge in itself. And then the loss of your first husband, and then moving out to Broken Hill. Where did you move from?
Melbourne, actually. Yeah. I've moved all over the place, but Melbourne at the time, I moved to Broken Hill, and that was a big rude shock, but I loved it, and it's just been it's a very special place. I've actually moved away and then back again. And I'm choosing to raise my son here, and it's a very special place. So but it's, I kind of think everyone has an incredible story, and everyone has tragedies and happy times and things, and I like to bring people together that can you guys, everyone can share that with each other and just learn from each other. It's amazing. I love it. So yeah, it's just, I guess I get a bit shy about it all, thinking that people would know who I was. I'd rather just blend in and make it happen.
Well, the reason from a business perspective, think you being in the limelight a little bit would actually help your vision of people feeling like anyone can be a part of it.
Yeah.
Because seeing you, like, you don't look like a particular, type of spiritual person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you just look like the
Yeah.
girl next door, and anyone could relate. And so to have you go, I've had this connection to this other realm since I was younger, and I didn't actually understand it until after my husband passed away.
Yeah.
That draws people in right there. That, well, you don't have to be a person who's been on some shamanic journey or is
Yeah.
at a plant
Yeah.
medicine ceremony every weekend.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of what's the word? No, I'm not intimidated, but I just feel I don't know. I'm a very always sort of take myself step back and sort of don't really talk myself up a lot. But I guess just hanging back because I just want to make sure that I am not that spiritual person, and I just don't want people to think that it's not a genuine experience because I'm not looking like that, or or I actually had a conversation with someone, one of our exhibitors, and I met her again. It was just fate that I was in the area, and I met her, and we just clicked, and she was the most magical person. She just lifted me up, and it was amazing. But we're talking away, and I'm just thinking, I don't know the terminology, and I don't know all of what you're talking about. I understand, I get the concept and the vibe. That's good. But I guess it's that kind of I guess I limit myself back a little bit so that people don't think I'm saying that I know everything, or I'm this person that you should look up to or whatever. So I guess that's just myself being a little bit shy about it all.
But then that's part of your strength, is
Yeah.
that you're saying, I don't know all of this, but I'm bringing all of these people together who
Together.
do. And I'm doing it for you. And actually, I'm doing it for me too.
Yeah.
Because I get to
Well,
learn a lot.
maybe I will do something about that then.
Yeah, I just think that is a connection point right there, because you are open to the fact that you don't know it all, and that's not what you're about. But that's what you want. That's the person that you want to reach out to as well.
That's
the ones
I'm literally reaching out to me and to who I was a couple of years ago and to who I am now, but to everyone. Yeah. For all the crap that we go through, this is the most real I have felt in life since everything happened with Andrew and all the rest of it. But I just want people to have the choice to look at these things, and whether they take them on board or not is up to them. But I know that it's given me a lot, and I know how many other people are living so much better because of the spirituality that they've found.
So do you have a specific something that you can share or experience that made you go, you've just said then that this has made you feel better. What specifically has made you feel better? Like, what kind of can you give an example? It's like...
There's a lot. When Andrew was killed, I wasn't there. I wasn't with him. And I got to see his body several days later. And I guess to step out of the whole idea that religion is bad and spirituality is bad, and that the whole idea of ghosts is just a big scare thing and spirit and blah blah blah. So I'm coming from that that perspective, that there's nothing, and I saw his body, and I knew he wasn't there. And I over the next I had horrific, probably 2 years was just, I thought I just couldn't live, like it was just awful. Anyway, as time went on, and I was just getting there was lots of synchronicities and lots of signs and things, and people are so very happy to tell you that you have mental illness when you say things that I can assure that's a whole nother story, but I know that I know that the signs and things that came through that, and with Lindy, my mentor, and with Andrew giving me all this information, letting me know he was still around and that they are all still around, and my granddad's still with me. That makes life make sense. Like what I was thinking the whole time growing up and what was in my head made sense and was validated by these people, by Andrew on the other side, by the people I had met and been around. And there's a whole, it's not just that connection to spirit as it is out there, it's a connection to your own spirit. And it made me realize that we're connected to everything. It's not just, I had been very shut off for a long time. And there was, even just trying to think, I did do some meditations and I had some sound healing and stuff like that. It just woke up my soul in a way. So it's just been it's since the time when I've gone, no, there has to be something more. There has to be something outside here. And since I've opened that and opened the possibility, I just feel like the whole first half of my life was just closed down.
Well, it was all of your learning to bring you to this point to your understanding.
We do. We learn and we learn and we learn to make sense of our environment and to make sense of life. And, I always think in future I'll be looking back where I am now and just learnt more and more and more. And I'll think back, back then, and I love that. I love that. And that's the festival's going to give me an opportunity to do even more of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's good.
So that brings me to a question then of what, at this point in the journey of preparing for the festival, what do you need to feel like you're at a completion stage? Like, are you looking for anyone in particular? Or are you trying to fill gaps in the experiences for people?
So at the moment, I've got a little reading room out the front of the house, and I've got a great big wall, and I've got all these different coloured cards stuck up with everyone, all the exhibitors, what they're doing, how long their workshop goes for. And there is a little bit of filling gaps. So I actually have a pile of exhibitor applications. It's probably about 30 sitting there at the moment, and I do get them every few days. And obviously, if they're something that we've already got, I will really look at them. I've spoken to everyone coming in, but I will talk to them. If they're amazing and they feel right, I'll work out a way of getting them in. But there's a couple of gaps. What we have now, if we had to close it off tomorrow and say there's your festival, it is incredibly diverse and amazing. But I am definitely taking people until such a point as we get people or we stop getting people, So there's no hard and fast rule right now.
Yeah. Well, it's the first one, so you get to make up the rules. Actually, you get to change the rules even as you go along. If you do the second one and you go, it's going to be different.
Yeah, I've even got people ringing up and saying, I can't come this year, but can you put me down for next year and stuff? So it's good. Yeah.
Well, I'm one of those. If I can't get there this year, I would want to be there next year.
Yeah.
So is there anything that I haven't asked you about that you would like to share?
Probably, I think the most amazing thing is that I live in the middle of nowhere, and that becomes very obvious to me in everyday living.
Correction, you live in the middle of everywhere.
Everywhere, correct? Sorry.
Well, that's your line.
we do have the highway passes through here, so we do. We do miss out on a lot of things, and we do, just because it is a long way, like 3 hours to Mildura or 5 to Adelaide, 12 to Sydney, and so on. There are people driving here in August from Perth, from Cairns, from Townsville, from Brisbane, Melbourne. Like, these people are it brings tears to my eyes that everyone's coming together and it's happening, and people aren't really thinking twice about it. They're just feeling the call and they're coming, and I love that. So I guess the sense of community has already started to develop. Even the sense in town, because there is another, like, a fair that they have. I think it's annually as well, but like, it's a smaller version and they have it in a hall, and people are used to that. They're not used to no one's used to this one because it's new, but people are adapting and people are just going with it. Like, I haven't heard negative stuff, and I've just had support, and I'm thankful to everyone, and I'm thankful to the universe for making it happen. So yeah.
You've put it out there that you're prepared to make it happen. So
yeah,
you're being supported in that.
Yeah, for sure.
So let me ask you one other question, and that is where people can find out about the festival.
Sure. Okay. So we have a website, which is outbackspiritualfestival.com.au, and that's getting updated quite regularly, particularly with all our exhibitors and all of the workshops coming up. You can also find us on Instagram or Facebook, Outback Spiritual Festival. If you just search that up, it will come up for you. And there's also, there's an email link on the website if you need to get in contact with me. That comes straight to me. So there's always something coming up on the website. So check in on that, particularly at the moment, because I've been uploading photos and bios and things. So
did you take photos for the website? The photos are beautiful.
I have taken some of them, but I can't take credit for most of them. No, they're all off iStock. I am actually a photographer, but I haven't really done it since Sid was born. But living out on the station, I do have a lot of photos of the outback and the sky and all that sort of stuff.
I bet. Well, I want to thank you for sharing your story, especially since you don't put yourself in front of the camera as you. Like, I've seen you interview other people, but you're not actually sharing what's behind your story. And I think that in itself is going to be an inspiration for people who have considered doing something but have felt a little bit afraid because they don't have all the answers. And from what I've gathered from what you've said, you might not have all the answers, but you're prepared to put one foot in front of the other and help present everybody else with as many answers as you can find on their behalf. And that's amazing. So I thank you on behalf of everybody who attends. So inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for your time. I know how valuable it is, and I hope you got value out of listening to this podcast. If you are looking for a coach to support and guide you through your own unique journey of creating a life you love, then reach out for a connection call. And if you'd like to connect with other creative souls in person by joining us at a workshop, a retreat, or to book a unique shopping experience here at Creators Nest, I run those by appointment. So check out the website for more details. The link is in the show notes. Oh, and please leave a review. I'd love to hear any insights or inspirations that were activated in you from this podcast. And I look forward to drumming, dancing, or soaring alongside of you.